Welcome to Real Talk. This is a space where you get to ask your questions. We want you to reach out to us, whatever your questions may be, personal, spiritual, anything. Send us an email to info@yogiofsound.com and let us use this space to talk about things, to ask questions that you may not regularly get to ask. And we'll be asking our questions to Yogi of Sound, Professor Surinder Singh, who's just going to be joining us right now. Welcome, Yogi Ji. Satkartar Ji. Today we're going to talk about fear. That's the question that we have come in. But where does fear come from?
Fear, Jasvir Kaur, is what may be possible tomorrow, or maybe something happened yesterday and we still are afraid that it can come back. It's a territory which is unknown to our mind, or mind logically want to understand it. So it is not a present, it's not the reality, but it is real in our life that we are afraid of possibilities, that things we did or things we are doing, it will lead into something and which we don't want as a result. So that is what the fear is. And if you look into the Mool Mantra by Guru Nanak Sahib's revolutionary program, if you look into that, you will see the word Nirpao. So Guru Sahib want mind to be free from the fear. If you want to grow spiritual blossom in your life, then this fear must be resolved. It is not just turning a blind eye or creating a diversion. We must communicate, and Guruji teaches us how to do that. We must equip ourselves that how we're going to come out of the fear. And yes, your question is super relevant. Before we sort it out, it is important for us to find out what it is actually. So fear is something which is not real. Something maybe happened in the past and we don't want this to happen tomorrow. And it's just unknown territory of mind, or for the mind, which mind creates a fog or an illusion and tries to go and sort it out the tomorrow. And in this process, we lose our present, our sat now.
Okay, so you would say that fear comes from the unknown?
Fear is the unknown sector. Fear is tomorrow. Fear is maybe what can happen, the possibility. Fear is not reality.
But what about fear that's associated with situations?
That's a possibility. Situation can be the real, but what the outcome will be from that, which we don't want, that causes the fear. That is what the fear of losing somebody, for example, our loved one, but we haven't lost it. It's the possibility in our heart. And when we lose the rhythm, when we lose our grip from our reality and we go into future, that's where we meet the fear. And Satguru wants us to be living in a real time, life in real time.
Right, and that's ideal. Everybody would love to do that. Let me give you a hypothetical situation, right? A child who may be experiencing bullying at school, right? They'll go through this experience on a daily basis. They're absorbing it, they're being in it, it's in the present moment, it's now, it's happening, and it's also in the past as well because it's happened and they've got this experience. That would bring about a fear as well. So how is
See,
that the same as what you just said?
psychologically related, this is that one who is going through a bullying in school also comes home and contemplate and the possibilities tomorrow. If we can equip them, if we can tell them what is actually making them go scared is not here, and we equip them to deal with the reality. See, our methods of tackling situations in the West are very different. In yogic process, in the process where you are equipped and trained, you see the Sikhs, Guru took a community in humanity out of bullying from centuries and thousands years of suppression, and Guru trained them not just physically, but first mentally. They became Sikh. They learned how what is right and what is wrong, and then Guru gave them a tool to deal with it. And this is how they became nirpa in real. So I went through bullying. I know the same process in when I want to share this. Actually, maybe some children can um, get some help. Don't use my formulas; they will push you into a trouble, because this happened a long time back in India. So my story is that when I moved from Allahabad to Punjab, I couldn't speak Punjabi properly. So it is, the Punjabi mindset is really not very indulged in homework. It is who's doing what and who's different, and they try to pick. Um, and I got into trouble. I mean, not just a verbal, but physical trouble with classmates and the boys from different classes that I got involved because I was angry, I was upset. I tried to push uh, another boy, and we got into fight. I've got beaten up. So that day I didn't say anything. Second day, the same thing happened. Third day, the crowd got bigger. Fourth day, I was afraid to go to school. But do you see? It's a bullying, and my uncle found out. I actually approached my grandmother, which was the right thing for me to do. She had her own mechanism. Look, I'm not going into wrong or right, because country to country, society to society, our methods of dealing will change. And so when I went to her, and she, not very hard, but noticeable slap came to my face, and she said, "You got beaten up? And you are crying about it to me? You don't know how to deal with it?" And I was like, oh my God, why did I come and tell you? I mean, I just came in for some sport. I don't know what sport I was looking for. And then my uncle found out, and he was like 10 years older than me, and he went after me again, the same thing. And then he dragged me from holding my wrist, he dragged me um, to a bus station where those boys were still hanging around. He said, "Which one?" And I was looking at the leader of that little clan of the bullies, and he said to me, "Go beat him up." I said, "Hang on, just just more than half an hour ago, this guy and his team did this to me." He said, "If you don't tackle this in his language, I will start beating you up here." So now it challenged my pride too. So I went there. Um, when you go there without a fear, you know what I mean? So now I somehow, my tenacity was like my uncle was there, you know? Worst case
Mhm.
scenario, he will jump in. So there was a level of confidence in my voice, in my eyes, in energy, and how I was tackling. That was my last day of getting bullied by anybody. Now, after today, everybody wanted to become my friend. I don't think this is a right way for our children here to deal with situation like this. Of course, I'm not promoting, but what I am promoting is confidence. Invest into yourself. into your loved one's confidence, raise the confidence so they know how to deal. Where we go wrong with fear, Jasvir Kaur, we want others to deal, or we want to deal with our loved ones' fears. We don't bring them into the reality, and we don't give them that situation. Hey, you've got to deal with it.
Right. And I understand your perspective. You come from a different era. And I guess, yes, there's a lot of things in the Punjabi world which are normal, or may have been normal before. But there is a huge seriousness around the topic of bullying. There's been countless cases over the years where young Sikh boys or girls have taken their lives because of bullying. And I think that if we can help them to understand how to deal with their fear, that we can help other young kids from feeling isolated. It's not always easy to speak up. It's not.
Indeed, indeed.
It Right? It takes a lot of courage to kind of even just approach somebody, be it your parents, a sibling, or a teacher. Um, when that fear has embedded within you and you start to feel like they're right and you're the one that has something wrong with them, Hannah, um, it's almost like you you've become part of the problem, Hannah, and that embeds in the psyche. But how do we deal with that? Because that's an internalized fear now.
See, we are now, there's a three different things are tangled: physical and mentally, which is again associated with third party, means society. Then there is a guru's angle. Look, I don't know too much of many different cultures, different societies, but what I know, that when I um, faced a brick wall right in front of me, I had no other way to seek help. I went to Guru. How did my Guru freed? How my Guru made us a nirpo? Look, psychological problem it was that generation after generation in a slavery to Brahmanic system, that we can't go to their well to drink, we can't. Uh, there's not one thing. Abuse was gone so bad that sati pratha, if you know sati, that if married um, woman's husband died, that woman has to be burnt with that
Oh,
dead
wow.
body alive. So,
Mhm.
so that was again a very heavy type of a bullying from one gender to another under the name of culture, religion. It's easy to bully somebody under the name of a religion. So what I'm saying is this is a psychological, it's a mental health issue. And we are only looking at the one side, the side the where it is coming from. But we, as Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj's program, you going to, if you're going to read one of the couplet will come in front of you. Chunkar azahmihil te dar huzast, halal hast burdan bus shamshir dast. This is from Farsi, that when no other matters, then you're gonna have to get up and face the reality by force. And uh, what is hurting us in a bullying, getting hurt, that creating that possibility and a bubble and living within that bubble, Jasvir Kaurji, uh, it is very serious issue, because there are a lot of people who cannot deal with it and they find another way, is the a very very dark side, very difficult way. Lot of our kids, a lot of our youngsters, a lot of people loses their life to suicide or drugs or different measures. And please don't hear me, I'm not being insensitive to the issue, but I am a very very clear on the program given to us by Guru Sahib, um, in his Mool Mantra, in his basic primary rules, solutions, Nirpao, but next to that he says Nirvair. you have to come out of the enmity of wrong and right. You need to strengthen yourself. And what a better way, what a easier way, easier possibly way to us, that be in reality. Whatever is at front of you, deal with that, not what's going to happen tomorrow. So equip yourself and prepare yourself today. If you think you need to talk to somebody, talk to somebody. If it's not easy, but what is easy? Nothing is easy. We need to come out of self-pity, feeling sorry and stressed. Of course, genetically, those that DNA has been molded. I know for centuries and centuries, the Punjabi DNA will carry on feeling this, carry on feeling sorry, because this is thousands and thousands of years of thinking, which Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj freed us from. So I'm not saying that it is going to be easy, but it will be super, super simple if we follow Guru Nanak's footprints and Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj's program to be in a situation of nirpo and nirvair.
Thank you. I appreciate your perspective and everything that you've just shared. Again, I think it's quite idealistic, right? Yes, we'd all love to be able to do that. But my question comes from the perspective of somebody who's now manifested that fear. How do you even take the first step? Because courage is an easy word to say that, yes, you should have courage, but it's not their fault. They're not being bullied because they've done something wrong or there's anything wrong with them. They're being bullied because the other person is insecure and they're projecting it on them. But I'm looking at it from the perspective of the person being bullied. How would they take that first step? How does nirpo without fear work for them?
Why one who not even wear a piece of cloth on their hand were crowned by Guru Gobind Singh? Why did they pick up the bow and arrow and then ridden the horses? How? Where they will never even in their dreams will think like this. Look, one thing I just want to very simply state here: if you need help, reach out. There is a lot of help. There are a lot of things being built for you. You don't have to suffer in silence. Guru Nanak Ji says, Gaviye. Listen to yourself, listen to your reality, listen to the pain you're going through, and reach out. Ask for help. We are here. There are a different organization. If not in your school and locally, there are organizations which can not just listen to you, also they will try to find a solution for you. If I come across such a thing, of course I want to find a solution. I want to not just give you kind words and my sympathy, which is empty. You need more than that.
Yeah.
But please understand that suffering is a mental health issue, not saying suffering in silence, which you can break it with just opening it up. You need to gather strength to approach your loved one and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. Can you get me some help? And I'm here for you. So is a lot of other organizations. If we don't have a solution right in our pockets for you, trust me, we will find it for you. Let's work together. Let's not suffer in silence. The only thing I will say to a 1 year old or to a 70, the suffering happens anywhere, at home, at workplace, in school. So you see, it is your choice. You wanna embrace that as your reality, or wanna make your freedom come true. I just don't want to give you empty words, but something you've got to do is gaviye, express yourself, and then see the magic. It is just a simple word. I need help. It's just a simple word, and
So
this is what
what
Sikhs
about
did to Guru.
when you find the courage to ask for help, but the person that you ask doesn't believe you or doesn't take your cry for help seriously enough? Then what do you do?
That's a social problem. Like, I wish that I can say a few words only and it will fix the situation in the world. But this is where, like 239 years it took Gurus to build the program, Jasvir Kaur, which we don't need 239 years. We can spend a little bit, 10% of our day to equip ourselves, even a friction of that, to, you know, of course, it's our choice. Your choice is to become a Rabban. It's your choice. Nobody bullied you, forced you. You want
Right,
to
but
serve Guru.
my question comes from the perspective of the person who's receiving this bullying, right?